Hello, Kendall from Reddit Whiskey with a recap of my second attack from this war, and obviously I was much more successful in this attack after my embarrassing outing last time. And this base is the general. This base has been beaten with every single army comp that I can think of. You still see it in most of your wars, and it's just a really weak base as long as you know what to look for. And you're going to see 1,000 different modifications of it. The walls are going to look a little different here. Archer Queen might be in some different places. The defenses will look different at the top. Sometimes you see it where it's flipped, but the kind of key component thing you're looking for is Tesla here and a Tesla here, followed by these kind of defenses like that with a double giant bomb set here and a double giant bomb set here. And, that's really what you're kind of looking for is the way these defenses, and you might not have two defenses here, you could have just one, but, that's kind of basically the way that this thing is all laid out. And, there's 1,000 different ways to attack it. In this one, I went with just a simple hog attack. Because the way the pathing is set up, I can make sure the hogs are going to only ever trigger one of the bombs at the same time. So, or if they do, the groups are going to be spread far enough apart that they're never going to set both of them off at the same time. So, my plan was initially I was going to send in, you can kind of see here from the clan castle here, I was going to send in 3 balloons at the very top. I was going to drop them up here. And very important, I was dropping them from this angle over here, and I just didn't want, if I'd have dropped them from this angle over here, I didn't want them to get close enough that the Archer Queen came into play at all. So by keeping them over here, the Archer Queen's not going to get aggro until they get all the way down to here, which by that time I've already got my full CC pull. So from there, I was going to do, standard kill squad over here, barbarians, few witches, my Archer Queen, and a couple wizards, and then a couple extra barbarians to feed in from there. I was then going to drop my golem through here, followed by a wizard here to kill these builder huts to break the trash ring. Then send my barbarian king in here. This Archer Queen would have jumped over that wall going after the golem, take the Archer Queen out, and then from there it's just the hog deployment. And my plan was, we're going to unclick that. My plan was that I was going to send in all of the hogs from the bottom, and I was going to do a 2-finger drop. I was going to do a wall of hogs. I was going to do a wall of hogs this way, 2-finger drop, and a wall of hogs this way. And important, I wanted my finger when I started my drop to kind of be in these gaps right here. And the reason was, I wanted these first hogs that I dropped to kind of go to this corner of the cannon, and then, kind of they would spread out, and, there'd be some hogs coming here, some to here, and that was the plan. And the reason for that is, these hogs that are kind of sitting over here in the cannon, once this cannon's dead, there's going to be some, if the archer tower's still alive, there's going to be some that head towards that, because there's only, there's, from this corner here, there's 3, 4, 5 to get to that. There's going to be a couple, though, that spread up and go to this air defense, and that's fine. From these, so you're going to have them, they kind of path like this, and like this, and like this. From this archer tower, you're going to have some that go up to here and some that go to here. From this archer tower, you're going to kind of go from this. This is going to be sort of your directions of where the hogs are. But what's most important is all of the hogs, except probably the ones that end up on these very far corners of these air defenses, as I said before, next thing you've got is Teslas here. So the next closest defense, so even starting at the very middle of this air defense, you've got 1, 2, and in fact we kind of have to count up. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 to get to this Tesla. Compared to here, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 7 to get to there. So that's the reason only the ones in these very towns you get to the mortar. Basically, what you're going to end up having is almost all of your hogs are going to path to these 2 Teslas. Now they will set off one of the 2 giant bombs, and all you have to do is pre-heal that spot with a heal here and a heal here, and you're not going to lose any of your hogs. Now you might get a couple hogs that stray off towards these mortars. This mortar should be dead. The Archer Queen should take it out. But towards this mortar, sometimes you're going to have that happen, and they're going to hit this other giant bomb, and they're potentially going to die. But the Weasel and the Tesla are going to be too far away by the time this second one goes out. From there, and I'll kind of screen us back out here. From the Teslas, they're going to move up to the Expo. I'm going to go ahead, because there's a lot of DPS here, go ahead and throw my next heal there. This compartment is all pretty much going to get taken out by your kill squad, so that leaves, your very last heal up in this compartment. And I was a little early on this last heal, as you'll see. I'm really surprised. You're going to notice I've got a ton of hogs up at the end, and somehow the Skellies and Barbarian King took them all out. I'm not sure what happened. It looks like they were all swinging at the same Skelly or which, but my heal was early. Had that heal been a little later, I tried to save. I had a couple hogs that went from this Expo to the mortar and set off one of these, and then I poorly placed that heal, and I tried to save them, and that was a bad idea. I should have just waited until my big group got up here. Neither here nor there. It was a 3-star. We'll kind of watch the replay. But important to note, if you get this base layout, you don't want to just blanketly follow this attack as the way to do it. You want to really kind of identify where are the defenses, how is this laid out, does this make the most amount of sense, and if you find that maybe the pathing doesn't work the same, maybe you go with one of the other attacks. I've seen Laloon take this out. I've seen hogs from other directions. Hogs pathing in from the side works going through because they only ever hit one giant bomb at a time. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to take this base out depending on how they've modified it. So we'll get to my attack and kind of go through here. You're going to see at the top I dropped my 3 balloons just like I said. They come over here and they're going to take out that archer tower. And they're going to get the clan castle pull. You see CC troops start to come out. Once the witch is out, I got a witch and a couple wizards. I know I've got the full pull. So I drop an archer. And important, I drop that archer all the way back here in the corner, as far back as I can pull, because it's not going to be able to anchor. This cannon's going to be in range of the defenses over here, archer tower over here. So I know this is going to die. So basically I'm just dragging troops. So they gets over there. Once it dies, I go ahead and throw my 2 barbarians. I wish I'd have spread those a little bit more, but I didn't. Witches staggered, followed by Archer Queen, 2 wizards, and you'll notice I start just kind of pathing in some of these extra barbarians. I like to have 4 to 6 barbarians just so I can do that. Those were going down a little slower than I wanted, so I threw the golem to kind of just distract because there wasn't a whole lot that was left in that group. That takes everything out. I get a couple shots in there, not going to hurt it. Wizard drops down to break the trash ring. Barbarian King goes in. You're going to see it takes out the last of these as soon as that golem starts getting shot, and then you can see my hog drop. And you noticed I dropped them, from this corner down and just kind of spread them across there. And you're going to see they start going in. They're taking some damage here. I hate to wait on heals, but I know what I've got to heal here, and I've got to let them get through here. So now that they're there, drop a heal in the giant bomb spots they're going to hit. They're all moving through. They pop one of them over there. That's fine. They're going to live through all of that. None of them died. Next heal in the core, especially with those skellies beating on them. And, as I said before, Barbarian King kind of strays down here. These hogs I should have probably just let die. I had a big enough group up here that I should have waited on that heal a little longer so that they were sitting in heal for the entire time they're killing, because the heal kind of runs out once they get to the cannon. And there are a bunch of skellies on them, but it looked like I had about 8 hogs left, so I thought I had plenty to take down. You see how fast that archer tower went down, but here, I don't know what they were doing. These skellies never die. I'm not sure what they're seeing at. The Barbarian King's not going down, the skellies not going down. It's almost like the hogs are sitting there doing nothing. I have no clue, and all the hogs ended up dying. I'm a little surprised about that, but I had a couple extra wizards. I always bring 2 extra at the end for cleanup. I dropped them down. I still had plenty of time. This was, never really in question. Definitely, though, not as clean as possible. There should have been some hogs left over to help with the cleanup, but, we'll just kind of speed it up from here. Not a whole lot else to see. So, first thing, if you're using the general as your war base, change it, find something else. It's one of the worst bases out there. It's been 3-stars so many times. Other than that, if you come up against this, consider it a freebie. It's an easy 3-star. You do have to do some identification. Just don't copy a YouTube video. But overall, strategies are about the same. So hope this helped. If there's any questions or comments, please leave them below. And thank you very much for watching.